You could do a lot, still not be a big deal. You on a treadmill, running in place. I made a band with a blunt in my hand and the sun on my face. We are not the same when it comes to a lot of things. Fill my lungs with exotic strains. I learned to listen and soak up a lot of game. Plus I got to change, know to adapt to it. Heard this beat, had to rap to it. Forward motion, no back movement. Winning now, way past losing. Only thing left to do is shine. Yo, it's crazy how the stars align. Like the universe got perfect timing. Like God exists and he could read my mind.
So now, God, man, I got so much good music to work on. It's just, that's all I can think about, honestly, is like getting done with work and being able to fucking throw some beats on and yeah, start some new projects and stuff. Excited.
Yeah. Where do you usually find your beats?
So, like, typically I like to work directly with like a producer. So, like, Waffles is a producer out of Tacoma. He's the one who produced the majority of our last album, Growth Spurt. And so, like, I kind of really like to just find people that are local to the state, or work with a producer directly. So that's typically, I've just found that it's like the music's better when you can kind of vibe, bounce things back off of each other, So.
Yeah, definitely. Rapper, podcaster, host of the Happy to Be Here podcast, coming out from Washington State. Got ExZac Change. How's it going, man?
Oh, dude, I'm fucking happy now. I got my weed, man. So I'm, now that I got my weed, and I'm chilling with you, man. Shit, I'm good.
Who are some of like your favorite producers? Not like right now, well, just like of all time. Maybe like from like the past and stuff.
Come on, man. I saw you're a Dilla fan. I was like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
I love Jay Dilla,
the
man.
Goats.
Yeah.
Alchemist. I mean, dude, that new Larry June Alchemist project, man. The beats are fucking dope, man. Just
so good.
Love it.
So good.
Static Selecta is fuck, dude. I'd probably say he's one of my favorites, man. Like every beat he makes, it's that funky, jazzy. Like I'd love all the beats he makes. They're like my favorites. So I would say, yeah, Static Selecta, definitely. But then I say Waffles too. Okay, we're talking just cats that aren't just like blown up. Like my dude Waffles, my dude DJ Donuts. He made After the Rain, and then I'm working with a guy in Spokane. His name's Dean Smith. He's on Spotify and all that too. He makes a bunch of dope ass beats. So shout out to those guys, man, because they're killing it too. Just not getting as much recognition.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was listening to Growth Spurt earlier. Usually, like to listen to the music of whoever I'm going to interview before. And I saw Waffles was on there, and I knew DJ Donuts did After the Rain. And After the Rain is like such a vibe. Like just caught into that one song. It's awesome. He killed it on the production for sure.
Dude, hell yeah, man. I'd say that was my favorite off the album by far. That was like my baby. Like when I wrote it, I was like, I knew that felt special when you first write it, because it's like I was addicted to just doing the hook and like the beat was just, it had that sunshine vibey fucking, just optimism, like put a smile on your face type shit. So definitely. Yeah, I love that shit. And it's a 6-minute song, man. God damn.
I know. Yeah, I was. I think it was something you posted on Instagram talking about like how it doesn't seem like it's a 6-minute song. It definitely like that's like the perfect way to put it. Like it doesn't seem like a 6-minute song at all. Like it just each like from your part into like the other verses too, from like Jinx and from is it Islo?
Yeah, Islo Matisse. I know some people. It's a tough one to read and put into words sometimes.
Yeah. I thought it was Laszlo for the longest time, and then I was like, oh, it's an I. So it's Islo.
I know, he needs that. He always says that too. Man, I got to use that lowercase I.
Yeah. It's all good. So you just released a Get It Back song. Right now it's on YouTube and Instagram, hopefully streaming services soon. And then you're also, I would say, a master of just being laid back and chill vibes. How was it releasing that song, Get It Back? I feel like you got a lot of positive feedback from it so far. But I just want to hear from you how that was.
Yo, so first off, shout out to Homage Beats, because that's a dude that I just found on YouTube. A dude who just got a bunch of YouTube subscribers. You know, one of those dudes who just makes fucking, you know, just blew up on YouTube, I think. And so shout out to Homage Beats, man. He produced that beat. And you know from the beat, like when you hear it, it's like fuck, dude. Like I could not just like write to it. It just came right out of me, man. So, you know, I just wanted to go bars on it and just give people just a straight message, just shit that they could hang on to, no catchy hooks, nothing like that, man. Just really just meat and potatoes all the way through. And yeah, I think that people resonate with that because it's just straight to the point, and it just, you know, gets you making a lot of oh faces, hopefully. Ooh, ooh, you know, that line, ooh, you know, that was the goal, you know, and I just wanted to talk my shit, man. So yeah, that one was a lot of fun. Honestly, we do this thing called, we do a lot of bar videos, which we kind of distinct those away from real songs. So we did something called More Bars Monday as a hashtag, Super Bar Sunday as a hashtag. It all started with my buddy TS The Solution, who's a super dope artist. He's on the album Growth Spurt, and he is the one who challenged me some years back. He said, man, I'm going to challenge you guys because you guys are dope. He said, I want you to do 4 bars daily. So he challenged me and Matisse to just go 4 bars every day, put it on Instagram, use the hashtag. So we did that, and it kind of created a monster as far as us just making these different bar videos. But Get It Back was one of those that just was like, fuck, I got to release this. I got to release this. So just for this interview, I'll let you guys know it's going to be out on streaming platforms on the 10th of April. So you'll be able to fucking stream it as much as you want. But until then, run up those fucking YouTube views for your boy, please.
For sure. And I'm a huge fan of music videos. Like I love music a lot and I talk about that, but I like just having like a visual for a song is like insane. I've been watching a lot of, whether it's like Chance the Rapper videos, Joey Badass, and I just come back to them, and I like it. Like just it sets a different it's just like a different feeling when you listen to the song without it after watching it. And I get that from Get It Back a lot. Like it was just well produced, obviously the music, your bars, and then just the whole video itself is just like it's like perfect pretty much. The camera angles, the editing from Matisse, it was awesome to watch. So that's awesome to hear that you're gonna be releasing it on streaming coming pretty soon. And still sticking with the music, you and Matisse are a rap duo, I would say. It's pretty clear. You guys released Growth Spurt, your 3rd studio album. And how's it been? That's been out now for 6 months. How's it been, the whole journey just with that project?
It's been wild, man. I like made it at the worst possible time. Like my girlfriend was pregnant. Like we were like about to have a kid. And, like, you know, my girl's like, "You working on an album?" I'm just like, you know, this is deeper than that. Like, come on, like, you know. And then she came around. We look back on it very fondly, or she looks back on it fondly. You know, I love it. It was that's like our baby. Like, you know. But like it's been amazing, man. Like it's opened up a ton of doors because first we dropped the After the Rain video. I feel like that got a lot of hype, and then dropped the album, and then we did a show here in Spokane at Lucky You Lounge and almost sold that shit out, man. We were so close. So we're gonna go back for round 2 and try to sell it out. But we had that place packed, and you could just it was all off of After the Rain, the album, and it's just kind of, you know, the album, you know, when you listen to it, it's all encouragement, positivity. Like it's almost like a lot of it is us talking to ourselves, like, you know, it's gonna be all good, like, you know, let's just keep going. Like when you don't stop, shit happens. Like as long as you're willing to take advantage of the opportunities, just keep going, and you're just gonna get better. So that project has done a lot for us, as far as like the right people hearing it and like doors opening. So yeah, I'm very proud of it. And yeah, man, I still promote it shamelessly. Still promote it.
Definitely, yeah. It's definitely a vibe. A lot of positive vibes for sure. Can you discuss the role of collaboration? Like how are you different, like your process differ from maybe working with Isla Matisse on a song rather than releasing a song like doing a solo song like Get It Back or Life Changes.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, I'm just like, I tweeted this out like a few days ago, but it was like, I'm gonna get it done with or without you. So that's not like shade to anybody else, but like I'm just writing all the time. Like it's just like if I have beats that are like touching my soul, then I'm just getting after it. So I don't, a lot of times, like especially lately, I've been having the mindset of like, I'm not really going to wait around for somebody else to write a verse to this or for us to collab on it. I just want to give people music too. So that was another reason for like Get It Back, like drop it. But I like doing the solo thing because I've been making music with Matisse for just the longest time. But I've been recently liking the solo thing because you can just for that reason I can just kind of put my heart and soul into some shit and then just like release it to people without having to wait for somebody else or send it out for a feature or something like that. But it's definitely with the busy lifestyle, man, just being able to fucking just write, hit the studio and drop it. So that's, I mean, that's it really. Like I like the collaboration is more fun when you're doing like a joint song. Cause you're chilling, we smoking, we coming up with a hook. A lot of times it is over like this kind of stuff too, where, like I'm grown, man. I'm 36 years old. My fucking the homies I rap with are grown. Everybody got families and kids and shit. They got, we can't just hang out like when we were 23 and just fucking just kick it every day. So
Yeah,
it's tougher, but the ideas bouncing back and forth. I feel like that's the biggest pro of like when I work with Matisse, I'll say something, he'll bounce something back that I never even would have thought of. And so that is like, oh shit, you just in real time you're seeing the music get better or the video get better or whatever we're doing because you're able to bounce it off this other person and they're gonna see some new stuff there.
definitely. And what you were just saying, kind of, it's cool that like you say, like by your age, like in that age, you have a kid, you have your girl. Then it's different than being like in your 20s, hanging out all the time and stuff. But it's cool that you're still doing that. And I mean, you didn't fall into like an excuse of like, oh, like I'm done doing music. I'm too old to do this. Like you're still doing it, releasing music out there. You have your podcast too, and I know that's a lot to balance all that time, doing the podcast, music, and family, and also work too. So like
Mm-hmm.
you're getting a lot of shit done, and it just proves that you're a productive stoner too, which is like awesome.
Man, I really think that it's like, I feel like a lot of people want to rap or they want to make music, but not a lot of people's heart is in it to the point where they're just gonna do it regardless. Like I've just
Yeah,
kicked it with so many people and seen so many people that are really talented that are, that kind of just once they don't become millionaires or, full-time fucking, paid for rap, they just, they drop it, which is understandable. Like they moving on, they got day jobs, they got families, they got to take care of priorities and shit. But for me, it's like, I love this shit. I got ADHD. So weed just like all it really does for me is just motivate me to want to write music. Like that's it. So as soon as I smoke weed, I'm just like, man, where the beats at? But, that I feel like I just stick with it because I just want to make music, like genuinely. Like I'm not doing it because I'm trying to like be cool and like being you know what I'm saying? Like it's just
yeah.
like I just love this shit.
I
So,
think it comes like that message you just said, like that comes across in your music too. It's like you're not trying to be like this person. Like you're just having a good time. You're having a good time. You're being yourself, and you're with your friends making art, which is like crazy. And it's really inspiring and motivating. Definitely. I was gonna ask like if you had any tips for people maybe that are like trying people that wanting to start music or even a podcast. So we'll get into the podcast in a little bit, but just any tips for people try to do it, but they don't have the motivation.
so like I think it's like first the thing to understand, especially if you're trying to rap, that you probably suck at rapping. when you haven't rapped a lot, right? Probably really bad. Like I haven't, like it took me like years. Okay. So, I mean, that's just my situation. There's probably some prodigy rappers out there who just rap out the womb. But me, I literally rapped for, I mean, I started rapping when I was 16. It had to be like 2001 or two or three or something like that. I don't know. And so just freestyling. That's how it started off. It was just like we would find, instrumentals and then just, it was like a game, like just rap it, like just trying to rap, and you just spitting some bars and it was just trash, right? And it wasn't, I was at that moment not even thinking being a rapper, creating songs, doing shows. Like what? I was just in retrospect falling in love with rapping. I always loved
Yeah.
hip hop at that point, but falling in love with the act of trying to rap and like trying to not fuck up and like to talk about real shit so
Yeah.
yeah.
That's dope. Um, so I know you're from Washington, but you're not from Spokane. But you've been in Spokane for, I would say, a majority of your life. Like,
Yeah.
how has Spokane inspired your music and your pretty much just your art, the podcast and the music?
Yeah, I would say the thing about Spokane is like the community of people. There's like it's a smaller place than Seattle, so I think it's cool because people are more accessible and people are more willing to work. Maybe like as far as like if you wanted to collaborate with a venue or with a business, or if you wanted to get somebody on your podcast, I find it very fairly easy. And because people are just nice here. I like, I don't know. I feel like Seattle kind of got a reputation. People are mean over there. I hear it all the time. People are like, man, people in Seattle are mean. And in Spokane, people are nice, man. Especially people that
Yeah.
are like younger and coming up and doing shit. Like we have a really good community out here, and then of course, man, the summers, man, hitting. The winters are brutal, so we're fucking, we're fucking, we're tough. But then at the same time, when them summers come out, man, we're so filled with joy because we just did fucking, 9, 10 months of winter. It feels like so we're just,
Yeah.
like it's just such a vibe over here, man, with all the trees and yeah, man, it's fucking. It's super inspiring for me, man, just to write music that'll make other people have a good day. So I
For
love
sure.
Spokane.
Yeah. Um, so you have your podcast, Happy to Be Here.
Mhm.
You've been doing it now for 3 years, and you have 114 episodes. The most recent one with DJ Donuts, who was on Growth Spurt After the Rain, who
Mhm.
produced that. How's that journey been doing podcasting? Because I currently watch it, and I've only watched it since I found out about you, roughly when Growth Spurt came out. And then today I went back and I was watching kind of like some of the first episodes. You did one. You're outside interviewing. Like, how
Yeah,
has that journey been?
dude, fucking crazy, man. Because like I don't know, man. That was one of the things about Spokane. I was like, man, I don't like if you were new to Spokane and you moved here and you were just like, hey, how do I find what's going on here? Where's the podcast? Where's the local person that's interviewing people so I can get a more in-depth look of, the people that are doing cool shit here. And I had been here for a long time and I didn't know where that was. I was like, there is no podcast here that I could listen to. So I was like, I was listening to a lot of Joe Rogan at the time. So I was just kind of, you know, always like the idea of bringing on interesting people and making it about them. Because that's the other thing too, is I'm a rapper, right? When you're rapping, it's just all about you. You're promoting yourself, you're pitching yourself, you're selling yourself all the time. And so I wanted to create something where it wasn't about me and where I could put the spotlight on somebody else, and give people a platform, and maybe and grow something where, I could get people that don't have as much recognition, more eyeballs and maybe fans, stuff like that. So, yo, from the very beginning, man, it was just crazy, dude. I just bought like an interface and some mics, and I was trying to just set it up in my living room, and I just moved it all around my house. Um, into bedrooms. We went through a lot of stages. You go in there, watch those videos, man. The growth is real because, it might have been 2020. Fuck, I don't know, somewhere around there. I fucking, yeah, 21 maybe. Yeah, 21. I think maybe I fucking got I met Brennan, who is the guy who he owns Spokane. So you might see that page popping up here and there. That's where we record. And he's just a podcast guru. He produces podcasts for a whole bunch of people in town. And he got me like from the house to like into a studio, so that way, like, it just made it more legit, and then he's also the same, he's the one that put me on to like, how to get paid doing a podcast and stuff like that. So, it's really, the growth has just been crazy, man. But we've interviewed a lot of cool people and done a lot, man. It's just a day at a time, man.
Yeah. How do you see like the podcast evolving in the future? Like, do you have any plans or thoughts in like the back of your head that you want to do? You just haven't done them yet?
Oh yeah. So like one of them is like just like taking it on the road. So my buddy Cody, who's the co-host of the podcast, this dude's got a knack for just creating fucking van homes. So he just he guts out vans and puts beds in them and then him and his family just go fucking driving all over the country. So this dude's got a couple vans and shit. And we were talking about, if we had the podcast and we could like drive over to Seattle and then get some really, some cool people that we want to interview over in Seattle and do like a kind of like something like that, like bring Happy to Be Here on the road for a few episodes and pop up and do some stuff outside of Spokane. So that's something that we've talked about, but I'm really hoping, like, this is the thing, man. I am just naturally motivated. I feel like, because I'm just always like, so we're gonna do that. Like, what's up with that? Like, how do we put this together? Like, so I see it growing, man. Now we're making a little bit of money off the podcast and stuff like that. So the reason that's important is because then you can invest back into the podcast. Because then you can start investing in ads. You can start investing in, being able to do things like taking road trips and, I'd love to be able to get like bigger names on too. Like one part of Spokane that I haven't really broken into much is the comedy scene. So I would really like to meet more comedians, and I think it would be really cool if one day I'd be able to like interview comedians when they come into town, just like, get them on my podcast. I think that would be tight.
Yeah, I think you could do that because you're very likable and you have a very like laid back vibe, and I could see you easily just talking to them to get them on your podcast. I know. I just saw him last night, actually. Adam Ray, who's I believe he's in Seattle.
Fucking love that guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. Also a Mariners fan too.
Yes.
But I could see you have Adam Ray's a great comedian, but also just a podcaster too. I could definitely see you guys doing something in the future. That'd be awesome. But the comedy scene, yeah, that'd be sweet.
Dude, you're speaking it into existence for me right now, dude. You're putting it out in the universe. That's what I need.
Yeah, that's dope. How did you come up with kind of the name? And I would say it's a brand. Happy to Be Here.
Man, that's kind of crazy, man. I think I was thinking of like what to name the podcast. I was just like, what do I want to name the podcast? You got a couple ideas, and I just like it's just gratitude, right? Like the constant reminding yourself, I'm just lucky to be here. I'm happy to be here, right? I'm like, I could have it so much worse. Stop tripping about the past. Stop tripping about the future. What about like right now is like the memories we're going to be making or that we're going to be looking back on is like right now. You know what I mean? Right this very second. So that's where that came from. It just came from a place of gratitude. And I just landed on that because I just it just really felt right to me. And then I felt like it was something that other people could apply to their lives, so
definitely, that's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done, but I kind of wish more people lived in the moment and appreciated like what they have. And I mean, I learned that like at an early age, just to appreciate everything I have, and because like you never know when you'll be gone, or someone else too. Like I'm in my mid-20s, and there's people that I've known from like high school and stuff that are passing away, and I knew like that was going to start happening at this time, but it's just like it's so interesting. So
it's a trip when it's happening. You know, all of a sudden it does happen, and you're like, "Fuck, dude, holy shit, this is." You know, and it can be anything. That's the thing. It's like, it's not to be afraid of life. It's just like being happy that you can control this moment right now. And, you know, if I want to go do, like, I think that we just get jaded in life, and it's just the same thing over and over again. A lot of people just, you know, you can either add color to the canvas, or it could just be a fucking blank canvas every day, or just like a dull canvas, you know, and you're just kind of like, fuck, dude. Where really it's like when you see every day as an opportunity to, you know, and that's where it's like, where music, it's like, that's how I'm able to decorate, you know, my reality is like with music. And it just, the fact that you can create music like film where it lasts forever, it's just something that'll always be there. It's just the meaning of like with that is, it just hits so deep in my soul that it's just like, it gives me purpose, and in turn just like fuels that gratitude and that happiness.
Definitely. Yeah. Who are some of your inspirations for music? Like, it doesn't even have to be rap, but just any music inspiration.
Okay, yeah. Listen, I listened to tons of shit when I was a kid. Like, I listened to fucking, I was listening to like country music, and I was listening to a lot of like Whitney Houston and Queen, and like that was kind of like some of the first stuff that I found was like, you know, just shit that my parents had. My mom had like a lot of Christian music, so I didn't really like steal any of her CDs or get into any of that. I was like, all right, mom, you know, you can turn this off. But like when I started coming up, you know, I was listening to just like, fuck, dude, just stuff that was on the radio. I really fell in love with hip hop. You know, when Eminem dropped the Slim Shady LP, that was like, you know, I got that snuck to me from somebody older than me, and the Chronic 2001, Dr. Dre, that album too. Those two right there, man. I would just fucking, as soon as my parents would leave, I would just go to the sound system and pop in that Burn CD and just be slapping Still Dre, Still DRE. So it's like I was listening to that type of shit, and then Devin the Dude, man. Devin the Dude is he's like my favorite rapper. I would say he's like my favorite OG rapper. It's like there's so many new like things that I love. Anderson .Paak, like a lot of really good shit out there. But Devin the Dude, I feel like has probably had the biggest influence on my style as far as that laid back. Like, I mean, After the Rain, I feel like was, you know, I was just really channeling my inner Devin, but I feel like I've kind of developed my own style. Like, you just take all these people that you admire and that you listen to, and then you kind of put them together and make your own thing, you know? Yeah. So, man, it's crazy, man. I would listen to a lot of country music, bro, because people, like my parents forced me to listen, like put it on all the time, dude. So when it came to country music, when I was a kid, and I got older, I started to like appreciate just the songwriting aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like the catchy hooks and the lyrics and kind of how they did certain things. And I even took some of that into like just how I write. So.
Yeah, something that it's, I guess, kind of relatable between hip hop and country is that they're like your storytelling. And I like a lot of old country, but I'm now just appreciating a lot of like newer country because the storytelling is just crazy. Like, it might sound like a certain type of thing, but it's wild. Like, I was listening to Luke Combs' new album recently, and like that's like something I don't ever listen to, which is wild.
That one that just came out, right?
Yeah. I don't even know what it's called, to be honest. I just saw him on Joe Rogan, and then I started listening to Luke Combs.
See, look at that, dude. That right there. Power of a podcast. Power of a podcast right there. So, yeah, that's tight, man. I love the songwriting aspect when it comes to music because I love to write. Writing is like one of my favorite parts. I love the whole process. It's just a very fulfilling process when you talk. And now, motherfuckers who can make the beat and then write the song, like that's the ultimate control. And I don't know how to produce music, but that's why it's like big love to all the producers out there, man, because they're the ones that are catching the vibe first, creating the vibe first, and I'm taking that and building on it, so
Yeah, producing is beautiful. Like I just love it. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask too. I was listening to that Spokecast podcast earlier today also, and you mentioned Hieroglyphics, and Hieroglyphics is one of my favorite hip hop groups of all time. I mean, alongside with Souls of Mischief. What's your favorite Hieroglyphics song?
Oh, come on. Miles to the Sun is I think my favorite off of Third Eye Vision.
Yeah.
And it's like Hieroglyphics is fucking, or I would also say, is it Made You Look? What is that fucking song called? That might be it. But Casual's my favorite. I like Festo also. They're all fucking dope, dude. And that's one of the dope things about it. They have so many fucking members, dude, and they all got fucking bars, and they all add something to a song. But that was just in that vein of some of that first stuff I was listening to. Like I started off listening to real lyrical stuff, so it was like Jedi Mind Tricks, Hieroglyphics. Really had that lyrical. That stuff that they're, like you were saying, they're painting a picture, telling a story in a way that they were using kind of crazy words too, like big words that, I didn't really know what they were. So it was like forcing me to think. And so that was my first like impression of like, I want to rap like this. Like I want to when I'm going to try to freestyle on the track, I'm going to try to do it like this, because this is what I'm listening to. I'm listening to Hieroglyphics, and they just had such a cool underground sound. So yeah, man, I love Hieroglyphics, man.
All right, man. I mean, that's all the questions I had. I think that was like a good amount of time, and that was an awesome conversation we had, definitely.
Dude, yeah, man. If you ever make it up here, you fucking let me know, man. We get on the podcast, and
I want to, man. I really want to take a trip up there. Even like, I don't know when, just to see you guys perform too. Whenever that I could make it up there, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, man. I'll hit you with some details of some shows we got, coming up in the future, and we can see, what's up. But if you ever come up here, I'd love to get you on the podcast too, man. It's a pleasure.
Definitely, yeah. Sweet, man. I'll link everything. You don't have to plug everything. I'll take care of all the plugs for your music and your social media down in the description for everything. But thanks for being on the podcast and taking your time to do this too.
Dude, of course. I'm going to get some food. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man.